Hey, I don't know, how many of you were in January when Craig presented? I got great feedback about small business. Craig's an expert at internet marketing, helping small businesses get going. So graciously, he offered to come in and do a 15-minute segment on marketing for small business. Great.
So how many of you guys have websites? Okay, how many of you have searched Google for something? Okay, who's lying? You haven't searched Google on something. I mean, everybody searches on Google for everything, right? I mean, or Bing. 73% of people search on Google. So I'm in the business of helping people get leads on the web. I really like that style of marketing. So I thought I'd show you some of the basics tonight. So 4 basic elements that you can walk away and you can use to kind of understand how to do these things in your business. I think the thing that you need to know is that 70% of the people that you consider leads that have come in to your marketing system, that downloaded some information, that inquired on the website for some information, you will buy within your category in the next 2 years. If they're not buying from you, it's because you haven't captured that lead and nurtured into a sale point. Good. So you know how many touches it takes to take somebody from a cold lead to becoming a customer for a business? It's normally about 5 to 10. It's something over 5. 2% of people close after the first touch. Something like 3% on the second call, 4% on the fourth call, 10% on the fourth, and 81% on the fifth or later. So on the flip side of this, do you know how often most businesses follow up when somebody's either called or filled out a form on a website saying, I want some information from you? Everybody fills out and calls at one time. But half of them quit after one touch, saying, thanks very much, I'm interested in what you're talking about. 24% of businesses stop following up after the second touch. 12% quit after the third. Thanks, is there anything I can do for you? And kind of brain dead, not very good engagement with prospects. 6% on the fourth call. I think it becomes painful. They don't know what to say after the fourth touch. And 10% quit after the fifth touch. Isn't that amazing? The difference between how we buy and how long it takes to be touched, how many times we've got to interact with people, and to the number of times that it takes to be able to actually create a relationship and move forward. But most businesses just don't do that. So what I like is, okay, these are the slides I was talking about. I like putting in place the 4 basics for small business. And that is, I mean, you know about social media links, because it's more important what people say about you than what you say about yourself. And so that's important. Showing up in searches, knowing the key searches that can help the website show up and then you create leads from it are really important. And then what's on that site, or basic attributes of the site is important. And a follow-up system. So you're right, Ricky. These are the slides that we were talking about.
Put them together myself, right?
Okay, so I think that when we're in the business of selling things, you've got to jump into the minds of your ideal buyers. You've got a good idea of who they are and what they're looking for. So they're sitting down with some intent of solving a problem. They sit down and they go type into Google or Bing. Some people use Bing or Yahoo. But they sit down with some intent to solve a problem. And they're going to go through and do repetitive searches. But the questions that they're going to be asking is, what are my choices? What's the terminology in this space? What's best for me, and what fits my budget? Is this bigger than my budget, or is it smaller than my budget? And who do I trust? And so there are, as you would not be surprised, different categories of different searches. You can go through and kind of figure out, these are informational searches, these are comparison searches, these are kind of people getting serious to go spend some money in a place. Okay, so you identify what the informational searches, comparison, the selection, who are the experts in the space, and then the money round is, who do I trust? Who's got expertise and who's delivered some information that resonates with what I've learned elsewhere in the world. This makes sense. I trust this business. I think I'm going to do business with them. So if we take an example, so there's no plumbers in the room, I hope, and somebody has got a plumbing problem, they just sit down and type something in where they need a plumber. I'm imagining that this woman needs a plumber. So she could sit down and type in San Diego plumber, Encinitas plumber, commercial plumber, union plumber, low-cost plumber, copper piping plumber, toilet repair plumber, drain unclogging. I mean, Some of these are really important, some of these are not important. It's actually knowable. Google gives some information for free. They'll tell you how many people searched on every one of those terms last month. And then the marketplace bids the price, based on the pay-per-click ads. You can tell which of those searches are like a $20 click to show up in that search. If you're doing search or doing pay-per-click advertising, you can use that information to tell which ones are more valuable searches than others. If nobody's willing to spend any money on searches, it was an informational search. The wisdom of the marketplace is telling us that there's nobody that's willing to invest money on those kind of searches. Okay, so knowing the value of the searches is kind of a big important thing, being able to map it to these different processes. And you structure your sales system around this kind of information. Because if you can't get leads down in the money round, you can actually capture them high when they're doing information, nurture them with valuable information, teach somebody how to sell a short sale house. Do I need a short sale? What is a short sale? For an example of what's an REO. Walk them through that process, serving them with information until when they're getting down into the comparison phase of the money round, who am I going to do business with? You've actually been giving them good advice all along the way, so you've demonstrated expertise and you probably have earned some level of trust. So you're kind of going through the awareness of the need, qualifying the need, and understanding the budget and timing. Okay, and then you go into the closing of making your offer. So I'm guessing everybody understands how Google works, but I think this is kind of an important thing in today's world. I know my kids all understand this stuff. I know talking to people that are my age, they don't always understand. So when somebody types in to Google on the left there, wherever you type in that, that's called a keyword. And I was saying, you can tell how many people searched on the keyword and the commerciality, and then kind of map that to what's involved in that space. The page that shows up after that is called the search engine results page. What's on that page is pay-per-click ads, on the right-hand side. I was trying to use the laser pointer, these big fingers. But on the right-hand side, there are pay-per-click ads, and then there's organic ads. And so 80% of the clicks are on organic, and something like 10 to 15% of the clicks on this page are on the ads. You get your credit card out, you can put an ad on that page in a minute. Or you've got to go through the process of showing up where the big traffic is on the organic side. But it's important to know what the value is of each of those different terms of your ideal prospects when they're going from problem to solution, and kind of mapping that all out. So I like building marketing systems where you're showing up on targeted pages, your site shows up, since it's like Bill Howe Plumber, then you capture a lead, and then you touch them. How many times again? 5. At least 5, maybe 10, right? Because they're going to do business with you kind of when they're ready to. And so you serve them with valuable information. So, I mean, this is an example of an upholstery firm that actually, many of the upholstery firms in San Diego have been closing down. This guy's been getting 300 leads a month for 3 years. You just do this simple thing. You figure out what the searches are, deliver valuable information to those people, and then they're ready when they're ready. Okay, so there's 4 basic elements that you need to know for your business, because I know there's a lot of other people that just build websites. It's important actually to know the searches. And then you have a bunch of links from social media that help you show up, because again, it's more important. The way Google works is that they realize that it's more important what other people say about you than what you say. So the more people that link to your site and have pointed at you. So if we all kind of like point at you and say, who's good at real estate, that's 200 links if you were writing that on a blog. So that makes
So all of you go to Meetup after. We need the rankings. Help us out, okay? We'll keep it at $12, but you got to do your part, okay? Go to Meetup when they ask how was that Meetup. You said Pete was off the charts, right?